Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another morning with Jay, Glenda, and Mike.
Yeah, and I hope that we have a lot more mornings to hang out together. So, hope you all have better health than me at this moment. I'm getting there. People that are asking. I am getting there. It's a long process to recover from this, but I'm working on it. I just started physical therapy, so I'm excited about that. Anyways, so everybody knows that we're pet lovers, right?
Uh-huh.
But I think that they don't know this, is that we just added to our family. We're new parents. Well, not that way.
Yes.
I don't think that people would expect that anyway, although
I wouldn't go that far. But...
Okay, but this is Coffee Moments, by the way, with, again, Mike and Jake. And we're happy that you're here. So, so I remember being a kid, and now that we're retired, I thought it'd be fun to have, like, some more things around the house that I can enjoy. Not that I don't already enjoy everything we have. We do. But I remember as a kid, I had a little robo hamster. And Mike had never heard of a robo hamster. If you haven't heard of them, look them up. They're really cute. And by the way, I'm terrified of mice, literally terrified. I have panic attacks when I see a mouse. I don't know why. And everybody says, but Mickey Mouse was a mouse. All my friends tell me, how could you be terrified of mice? You know that Mickey Mouse was a mouse. I'm like, I know, but I could tolerate Mickey Mouse, but not like a real mouse. But anyways, but these robo hamsters are different. They're so cute. And they're like, oh my gosh, as big as the top of this thing. Maybe not even that big. You could hold them in the palm of your hand. It wouldn't even fill up your whole hand. So look them up, the robo hamsters. So my kids had them when they were growing up. And they were the cutest little things. And they have a lot of energy. So they're fun to watch. They play on the wheel. And they have personality. They know who you are. So anyways, so I wanted one really bad. So we were at the Goodwill. How this all started was, we were at the Goodwill and I found this beautiful cage, the one that my kids had when they were little, this robo hamster cage. It was brand new and it had like all the tubes and all this stuff and it was $5. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a sign. I need to get another robo hamster because I've been thinking about them. So I'm like, this is a sign. I just have to get this cage. And Mike said, why are you buying a cage? And I said, oh, I'm going to get a robo hamster. Of course, Mike being Mike.
I didn't know what they were, and again, I also brought up, were you afraid of mice? That this thing is little as a mice, and so. Yeah,
but he, being Mike, is such a good guy, and he just goes along with it, and we always end up having fun with whatever we do. So. Okay, so then I'm looking everywhere, all the pet stores. I have a cage. I need my robo hamster. I can't find them anywhere. There's nowhere to be found a robo hamster. So I'm thinking, am I going to have to order this little guy online and have him shipped like overnight? This like $20 hamster is going to cost me $100 to get him here. So I'm like, whatever it is, I have a cage and I need to get myself a robo hamster. So I'm just going to do it. Well, then finally you found them, that they had them at a pet store not too far from us. So we get in the car and I'm all excited. We drive to the pet store. We get there and I said, I hear that you have robo hamsters. She said, we have one robo hamster. So it's not like I had a choice. There was one there. But I had planned on, you could get them in all different colors and stuff. And I wanted one that was 2 different colors. And believe it or not, that one was like tan and white and has little like speckles all over him. He's adorable. So I said to Mike, well, now we need a name for our robo hamster. So Mike come up with a name, a very fancy name for a hamster. Henrietta. I don't know how you come up with that name. Did you ever know anybody by that name?
No.
He just said, we should call her Henrietta Hamster. And I thought, that's a good name for a hamster, Henrietta, because it both starts with an H. So we have a hamster, a little robo hamster now, and her name is Henrietta Hamster. Of course, our Tilo, our big black dog, can't be anywhere around our little robo hamster. We don't want to take a chance. So I have zip ties and everything on our little cage, and I have it on top of I have like a counter that goes over my washer and dryer in our basement, and I have it way in the back in the corner. So every day when I go down, I go to check on him and see him. I go twice a day down there. I feed him and check and see what he's doing. And they're really active. He loves to play on his wheel. But I've noticed, we've had him for about a month already now. And I've noticed that when I go down, if he hears my footsteps, he comes running over to the side of the cage and he's hanging on the side of the cage and he's like looking at me, shaking his little head like, oh, you're here, it's time to eat, because he knows I'm always feeding him. So he's adorable. So that is our new addition to the house. And we have more though. And I I told you I didn't want to live in a zoo, and here we are.
And a zoo.
So another pet that we bought this one in the summer. We had a little water pond outside, and that's a long story. We will tell you that in another episode. But anyways, so I ended up getting 2 little water turtles, and so and turtles always. The robo hamsters are fine to be by themselves. I checked on that. He did not need to have a companion. That's a good thing because they only had one. So he's perfectly fine on his own. But the turtles, did you know that water turtles are like social animals, and they do not do well when they're by themselves? You need to have at least 2. So we ordered 2 little water turtles. And I'll give you the whole story in another episode, the turtle episode, because that story is really good. But we went through a lot before we ended up with these 2 little turtles. So we have them also, and they're just little. They're like the size of like a silver dollar because we got them when they were babies. So right now they're in like a 20-gallon tank downstairs. And I noticed the other day the same thing when I went down there. And as soon as I go over to stand in front of their tank, the 2 of them swim over and they like hold their heads up, like waiting right in front of me to feed them. And then they eat, and then they go back under their rock, or they climb up on a little rock wall. But so animals, that's crazy that they know that you're there.
Yeah.
And
they know you're gonna feed them. So.
Yeah, I guess they're motivated by food.
Yeah.
But anyhow, so the one time, what other animals did you have? I know you've had cats and you've had dogs. Did you have any other animals growing up?
Well, growing up, we had dog and cat, and we had turtles for a little bit, fish.
Did you have water turtles or box turtles?
I don't remember.
Guess he didn't take care of them.
Because at that time, they come out with something, they had diseases or something like that, or
Oh,
we got rid
yeah.
of them. But the ones that I've had more recently, my daughters, when we had moved into our one house, my daughters wanted a cat, and so they each got a cat, and then we found a stray cat, and we had already had 2 dogs, and so we added 3 cats.
Oh my, that's too much.
Then we had it's not. I mean, you have turtles and.
All right, but they're in cages and not running all over our house.
Whatever.
They're not running all over our house. Go ahead.
So, anyways, we end up having I think a total of 4 cats and 3 dogs at the height of that. And then my daughter moved out.
Everybody was moving out, and they were taking the pets with them.
Yes. So then, now I have my 2 dogs and Glenda's dog.
So now we have the trio, 3 musketeers.
And as you said in an earlier episode, that was a point of negotiation because I can't go with 3 dogs. And
when we were talking about him moving in.
I always loved my dogs. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not moving in.
He was going to get an apartment. And I always say, and I will continue to say this, Mike loves his dogs more than he loves me. And I have proof of it. Because he was going to go get an apartment instead of coming with me. Because I wasn't cool on having 3 dogs.
Well,
now, I don't know what I would do without 3 dogs. Because our dogs are they're besties. If you see pictures, they're besties.
Let's not go there when she says that.
Yeah, because you know it's true. It's true. Mike loves pets more than he loves people.
I'm the one that if I come to your house and you have a dog, I'm over there with the dog. So.
Yeah, before he says hello to you, he's going to go and play with the dog if you have a dog in your house. Yeah. That's just a heads up. But I have to tell you this funny story. So when I used to have horses, my girlfriend at the barn decided that she wanted to get 2 llamas. And I'm like, oh, okay, that'd be cool. So I don't know how to drive a trailer or nothing like that, but she did. She's like a farm girl. So she said, well, if you go with me, we can go pick up these 2 llamas, because llamas, same thing, they have to have 2. And I'm like, all right, I'll get 1 and you get 1. These guys were moving and they couldn't take them with their new house. They weren't allowed to have outside farm animals. So they just wanted to have a good home for them. We gave them a little bit of money, but it wasn't much. So anyway, so I said to my friend, sure, I'll do it. So we go over together and we get these 2 llamas. And I never had any experience with llamas. I just had experience with horses. So she goes and we put them on the leashes and stuff, and we had some, food in the back of the trailer. So they jump up and they run to the back to get to the food. No problem. Everything cool. The guys were really nice. They were happy they found a good home. And anyways, so off we go to the barn. So we open up the back of the trailer door, and she says, you get the one and I'll get the other one. Well, we opened back the trailer door. They went up like they were pterodactyls. They went like this, like on the back of their legs like pterodactyls, and they come running off of the ramp. Well, of course, I let go of that leash. I wasn't caring where they were going, but I was scared to death. And they were screaming on top of their heads. They were so mad that we took them. They were screaming on top of their heads, probably not knowing what's going on. And my friend had to rally them and get them to cool them down, to take them. We had a really nice pen already ready for them with like a run in, and they had a big pasture, and they had like everything. They were like really well taken care of. But I was scared to death ever since then. And then you have to, alpacas, no, I think it was alpacas we got. I take it back. It was not llamas. They were alpacas. I'm sorry. But you have to shear them. And twice a year, you have to shear alpacas. And people want that because people that knit and stuff or crochet or whatever, they use that fur. And it's like really expensive, alpaca yarn. So people want that alpaca yarn. So my friend Haley and I, we tried to shear them the first time. And I was like, holding their leash, and she was shearing them. And they were screaming like they were getting like attacked. They were screaming bloody murder. It was terrible. Everybody in the barn, they're upsetting the horses. They're upsetting the horses. They were screaming their heads off. And all we were trying to do was shear them. So Haley found a person that likes to knit. And so, or crochet, whatever that is. So anyways, so she asked them, if you come and shear them, you can have all of this alpaca fur. And they were so excited about it. So then they started coming twice a year and doing it, and we would just let them have the alpaca fur because they needed to be sheared, and we didn't want to do it. So, but I'll never forget that after that. And the alpacas, they were so bad. When the horses would go on the trails and stuff like that, they would pull their crap again. They'd go up in their back legs like pterodactyls and scream at the horses, and the horses would take off. Well, that was dangerous because we had like trail rides and stuff like that. So eventually we had to relocate the alpacas again. I felt bad because they were fun to have, but they were, oh my gosh. So if you ever have an alpaca, be careful around them. They will turn into a pterodactyl in a heartbeat. So those are a couple of the pets that we have. We will have to talk another day about the turtle, how we ended up getting turtles, because that is a whole story in itself.
Yeah.
But what pets do you guys have? Post it in the comments. If you have a cat, a dog, how many of each? If you have a bird, I used to have a bird. If I love birds, so post it in the comments what birds you have, and it'll be fun to see what everybody has. So anyways. Yeah. So that's it for today. I guess we'll talk to you tomorrow.
See ya.
And don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and we will see you back here tomorrow morning with your favorite beverage. Take care. Have a great day.
Take care.